viewers, and welcome back to the Southman Auto Channel. So it's not a repair video. You can probably tell by the title. One of my friends has got this older 4Runner, and he's got this little quarter-ton military trailer. He uses a pintle hitch. Wants to be able to tow it with his little 4Runner. All right. So the problem is the hitch on the 4Runner is so low, and the military trailer sits so high, even though it's a little tiny lightweight trailer. When he puts it on, it looks kind of stupid going down the road. So he just wants a hitch, or a receiver for his hitch rather, with the pintle on it at the height that he wants, so when he tows it, it looks level. Asked me if I'd make him one. Sure. So the idea is, we got the pintle hitch, and this is the tubing that I've got for his hitch, for the receiver, and we're going to take this, be on there like so, drill a bunch of holes in here, and then have an adjustable, within a certain degree, pintle hitch. Now, why didn't we just buy one? Well, for whatever reason, he needs it to stick out further than what one that you could purchase, and evidently he couldn't find one to purchase. So I went to the local steel shop, had him chop me up some stuff. We got some 2-inch tubing that should go into his hitch on the back. I got him cut a little gusset for me to give this some strength. Now, this trailer, like I say, is pretty small, pretty lightweight. I mean, you probably couldn't put, 800 pounds of material in it, even if it was all, water bottles or something. But that's what we're going to do, or attempt to do, rather. I'm not a metal fabricator person, but we're going to give it the old college try. So first thing I want to do is find center on this. We'll mark the center. We'll find the center on our pipe, and then we'll get it squared up, get it tacked up, and then we'll fry it on there with a welder. I probably should take this to the drill press, but I don't have one. So I'm hoping to make it and then take and borrow somebody's drill press or go to somebody's place where I can use their drill press and punch my holes. Why don't I have a drill press? Because I rarely have a need for one. Maybe once every couple of years in instances like this, but as a general rule, I don't need a drill press. So this is a 5-inch wide piece of 3/8-inch thick steel. And so I just measured 2.5. 2.5 should be half a 5. I didn't do good at school, but I do know that much. And this is just a piece of soapstone. I'm just going to mark kind of the center line down through there. Alright, so that should be 2.5 on each side. 2.5, 2.5. We flip it around. Still 2.5. That's awesome. Our tubing here, I marked it because the edges are rounded on it, so I had to transfer a mark up to there. It's 1 inch. So I'm thinking if we stick a little square on here, keep it from rocking. Got our mark there. Then we'll do the same thing on this side. It happens to be 2 inches exactly, which works out nice. Does that little burr on it, we're going to have to get that off there. And I don't know if when I had him cut this piece, we don't know if this piece was cut square or not. We're going to assume it's not anyways. Alright. Okay, so we have the marks there, so technically we should be able to, line up our 2 marks. Now I've left it so this has enough height to it that I can leave this back a little bit so we can get some good weld all the way around this. So we'll line up our white marks here. Alright, probably should clean this steel off, but we can probably get it tacked on there. Now I'm just curious if that is cut square. We'll stick a square against it just to see, and it is not. So it needs to tip back. So what we'll do, because that is the case, we're going to tack it right here on the back side. When that tack cools, it will probably, or hopefully, pull it just enough to actually square it up. So we're going to try to use that to our advantage. I mean, it's so stinking close, you know what? Yeah, if that pulls it just a teeny tiny bit, we'll be in good shape. Get on the safety equip. We're going to fire this guy up. Well, they use this welder about once every couple of years. So we'll see. She's an old buzz box. I say buzz box because you can hear the old converter in there. It's pretty noisy. So we'll make sure we have this lined up well. Looks like we do. Gonna give it a tack on the back. Hopefully. Got your gas on now. Got our gas on. We got her cranked up on hot. Oh man, my wire speed up. That's kind of too high. You don't have to be a welder if you own a grinder. And that is a true statement. Now let's see where that put us. About time to modify this. Gotta go grind that tip off. Sorted. Well, that looks gorgeous. Now we're going to give her another tack or two. Alright. Sign the old buzzer. I should hold it. Give you kind of more of an idea of the concept here that we're going with. This is going to be way too heavy for what he's actually doing with it. Wow. I like my sweet hat, right? Pretty much a pirate, basically. Arr. I need to get an eye patch for this thing. Let me put on my gloves because this is what guys do, that fab stuff, they wear gloves. Super sweet. And then to give it some strength, we have the gusset. Figured we could go in here. I have no idea if this was sheared off square or not because this was sheared. Oh gosh. Because I know our piece is square. It's super duper close. Even better that way. However, I think they cut this. One side is a little bit longer. This side it's what? 6 and something. That's 8 something. So yeah, we have to go in this direction. But we have a MIG welder so we can fill in the gap. So that'll be the gusset there. And then we have this piece to go on top of it, which will give it some strength, but it'll also help somebody from, you know, if you, whatever reason, whack on this. Rather have him hit a blunt surface than he did not cut that long enough for me. So we got a big gap to fill in there. That sucks. Oh well, this is what we have to work with. This is what we're gonna do. So that's the gist of it. Drill some holes, pintle hitch, done. So now that we're all on the same page, I'm gonna take and fry that little guy all the way around. Whoa! Squeezing the trigger there, buddy. Gonna get you. Hopefully she should be set where we need it. Cross your fingers. looks like we had some good penetration. That's what I'm always aiming for. Doesn't look awful. We're gonna win no Academy Award for it. I don't think they give out Academy Awards for welding anyways. Alright, then what we'll do is we'll set this little guy up here. Just any old place. Preferably on our 2-inch mark, which I'm gonna have to remark. I can vaguely see it. That way we know where center is on that, and then we'll get our gusseted tack, or gusset, we'll get our gusset tack. We'll set a center mark on our tubing also. We'll set this at 1 inch. We'll stick this up here and make our little mark, so we know. Actually, we should set it just under 1 inch to compensate for the width here. We'll go like 15/16, we'll call it. Can't see squat. There we go. We got our scribe up there that we can see pretty much in the center of the seam where they welded that pipe anyways. And I can still see our line here good enough. We'll mark it again. See that? We got our little magnets here that should help us hold this square very close to it. Alright, there's that. We'll double magnetize it. Alright, so I can see where it's lined up down here. I can see where it's lined up on our tubing. Looks fantastic. Got our crown clamp. We'll give her a couple tacks. The trick is going to be to keep it straight-ish, straight-ish. So we're going to tack it right on the end, that way it won't have a tendency to pull one way or the other. I'll give her a few tacks down each side. Alright, I'm going to make sure it stayed straight and then we'll buzz her in there. Alright, looks like it stayed straight, so fire her up. Well, there. It should stick. good enough to not fall off anyways. He's driving down the freeway. Looks like we got some good penetration. Well, we'll clean them off, see what they look like before we take it, put a little piece here on. Like I said, I got some gaps to fill there, but it's probably not 100% necessary. But hopefully it saves somebody some bloody shin someday. We're going to weld on the last little piece here. Let me get over here closer so we can snuggle. There we go. A couple smaller magnets. It's kind of weak too. There we go. So we'll stick this piece on. Our magnets kind of hold that, and we'll just center it up here. We're going to have to, like I say, it doesn't fit perfect, so we're going to have to kind of split the difference here. Everything's always sticking to these magnets, you know. Particularly metal shavings. We'll just kind of get this to hold it all. Doesn't have to be perfect, but get it close. We're going to split the difference on the gap we have to weld. I'm really debating on whether or not to use it. Oh, probably should, just to be on the safe side. That's way overkill for what it's going to be used for, but let me put a little tack in the center down there. Let that kind of cool down. I want to make sure up at the top, make sure I have that centered out, just kind of eyeballing it. Thing's hotter than banshee. Alright, we're attacking at the top now. Alright, make sure it didn't get all cockeyed here. Looks like it's still 90. I'm gonna call it good. We're gonna buzz her on there. Let's see, is this gonna be super difficult to put in a drill press now? I don't know. Might have to stick a couple 2x4s on end, you know, and then I don't know. Probably should have taken the time to take the plate to old Mima's house, use her drill press, and do it first. I hope I'm not going to regret this decision. It would be the first thing I regretted, or the last. Assure you of that. Whoa! Trigger happy. Alright folks, ain't no going back now. Let's glue it on there. The bottom one's going to kind of suck because the edges of the pipe are curved. I don't think we're gonna have to full weld that, to be honest. I'm thinking just a couple of skip welds, and that should be good enough. I don't see a sense in full welding the whole thing. Yeah, do the same thing on the other side. A welder I don't use. And I'm out of weld wire. I'm this close to being done with the whole spiel. And I do not. How do I not have an extra roll of wire? You sucker. What's this? Extra parts. I literally have one weld left to do. Ah! Somebody in the structural engineering department is gonna go crazy. I want to finish this. I'm going to plan B. The metal's still piping hot, so I have confidence. Let's turn this baby on first, get her off purge mode. Problem solved. So you might be asking yourself, oh, Erico, what did you do? I don't know if you sound like that or not, but I just switched over to my 110 welder. Is it appropriate for welding that steel? What is it, 1/4 inch? Borderline, okay? Now it looks like we still, now would I use it to weld, you know, onto 3/8? Absolutely not. Or, you know, from, yeah, 3/8 inch thick steel. No way, you know, obviously you can't use your 110 welder for that. 1/4 inch to 1/4 inch. Yeah, it was still, is still pretty toasty. You know, you can see it still cuts in, nowhere as near as good as the 165 amp jobby. But set it full beans at the 135 amps, it can puke out. It does okay. So there's our almost finished product. And in case you're still not grasping the concept of it, he went down to the old Tractor Supply and got himself an 8-ton pintle, a 400-pound trailer. I personally probably would have just changed the hitch on the trailer, but here's our pintle. I'm gonna pull the pin. There's A, he drops his old military baby in there, boom, slams her down, puts the pin in it. And this little guy, once we drill our holes, we'll be able to mount. Now I'm gonna put them a couple holes here, and then we'll go the next set down, maybe put some in between, give it some adjustability. But if I remember correctly, it has to be, you know, pretty much towards the top. I don't know what I did in my paper. I wrote down all the measurements on. But we'll give them some holes here, and then give it some adjustability. Now, if I did my math correctly, this should be the hole spacing that we need. Why am I not overworking on a workbench? I don't know. But I want to take, see if I could balance this on my knee. I want to take and center punch these best I can. That way when we go to the drill press, it'll be a little easier for us. There's those. Probably to stick the hitch on there to see if it even looks right. I did the math. It looks like it's 3 3/8 center to center that way, and then 1 3/4 center to center that way. That's what it appeared to be, the best I could measure it. outside edge to inside edge. So technically this should give him, when he moves it, this should be right. This should be right. They look pretty well centered. And this will give him 2 adjustable spots. Now if I remember, it was from the bottom of the tubing here, down at the bottom, to the bottom of his pintle. He wanted about 8 inches, was what I measured. And I think that ends up just about, because the bottom of our pintle is, let's just measure, let's just see where we're at roughly. I'll give you guys, how far past it are we? It's gonna be super close. It's not like this thing's gonna be super precise. Yeah, so 8 inches, gonna be about there. This is sitting. It doesn't really help me, buddy. Transfer your mark. There we go. It's gonna be so close. If all else fails, we can always put another set of holes in between those holes. But then you're starting to get a lot of holes. There. Either way, I think it's gonna be good. Now I do remember on the pin, I believe from the back to where the center of his pin was 3 inches right on the nose. Because if it sticks through too far, it hits his spare tire. So we're going to make a mark on that too. We'll square that off. And then we'll prick that in the center. And then if we have to go in further, we'll just cut the tubing off and make another hole. If this is sticking out too far, but I'm just basing this off measurements I took quite a while back that I wrote on a napkin. Probably should have made some a little more solid. That's an inch in, okay. I'll knock a center on that, we'll drill through that with the drill press. Perfect. So I took a drill and just kind of marked those so we don't lose them. I'm gonna clean off some of the sharp edges, a little whizzy wheel, and then we'll go up to Meemaw's and use the drill press. And just like that, we made it to Meemaw's workshop. This is not my Meemaw, this is my children's Meemaw, aka the mother-in-law. We're gonna try to do this in one fast step. I've got a Matco Hyper Step drill bit. This is in 1/2 inch. I'm gonna chucked up. And we're gonna do it on the edge of the table here. Hopefully. I think that's gonna work for us. Bring her up a smidge. We'll lock her down right there. Okie dokie, how fast this thing going? Oh, Meemaw! Back with it, we'll give it a shot. Like swapping belts. Lots of lube, that's all you need. That'll get you through about anything you need. Alright, that should work for us. She'll keep her flat with the pressure. Fancy. Got some lube even. So we'll give her a little bit. Oops. We'll grease her up a smidge. Now I can't see the hole. think we ought to slow the drill press down just a tick. But we made a hole. There. We got her kick back a peg or two. Meemaw's gonna be happy. This is their woodworking shop. Thing we should have done. We probably should have checked our hole alignment. I hope it's good after all this. Kind of too late now. We already bought the farm, right? Oh, come on. There we go. Now we'll hit the middle. I think the pin is 5/8. I grabbed a 5/8 bit, but I loaned it out to somebody. I see it's pretty chowdered up. That's how it goes, I guess. And I've only got one. So we'll poke a 1/2 inch hole through it first and see if we can't ream through it with the 5/8. So the old hyper step bit seemed to work like a champ. And this is what it looks like. So it kind of self-pilots, you know what I mean? Alright, so that worked good. Saves you from swapping drill bits all the time. Boom. Now if we played our cards right, it should fit. Did I bring any freaking bolts? Probably didn't. I did. Look at me go. Bam. And they even fit. Pretty dang precise too. Fingers crossed, fellas. This is the setting he's going to have to use right here. Oh, that's 2 for 2. That means it'll hold at least 4 ton, right? Oh, you mother lover. There's that way. How far are we? Oh, it's super close. I'll tell you what. Stinking chains in the way over here. There. Yeah, like a glove. It has lock nuts and lock washers. Now we're not going to tighten these down. I guess they're not lock nuts, they look like they were. We'll just gingerly put them on here. Because I don't know what setting he's going to have to use. I think this one's going to be the closest. my guesstimate. I think he's got way more hitch here than he's got truck or trailer, but at least it'll get him up where he needs to be. We'll get the nuts on here so we don't lose them. So we're going to give her a little toot of some WD here, keep it from getting rusty overnight. It's going to spend the night in the back of my truck. That way he can paint it whatever color he chooses. This should help the painting process, right? Maybe he'll just leave it raw. Who knows? I'm pretty happy with it. Look at that. We're done. One custom hitch for his Toyota. His military trailer. Oh, fail. There we go. We should do a test fit on the old Tundra. This is a 5/8 pin, right? Oh, it's too tight. Let's see. Won't be after a while. Oh man, my pin is too tight. Come on. There she goes. She's all the way through now. We can pin her up if we wanted to. I'll get that glare here. That's the name of the light. There, she's all the way through now. So that's what she looks like. Ready to pull some stuff, man. Sweet. There's the side profile. Like I said, we can go back in about maybe another 1 3/4 if we have to. But he wanted it sticking out quite a ways, so we give him what he wants. And that, folks, is that. That is, oh, I did have my glasses with me. I'll be jiggered. Could have used them. Building your custom receiver. Tow your little 1/4 ton military trailer behind your 4Runner. Hopefully he likes it. I built it the way he wanted it. I guess that's it. Go down there. Questions, comments, criticisms. Be sure to comment about the welds and how crappy they are and the type of lube I used for the drill bit and how wrong it was. But you know what? At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It's all together. It's going to stick. And just remember, viewers, if I can do it, you can do it. Thanks for watching.